Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th of
All
July to
right.
all the Americans out there. Yes, I see
Seth, what
that
was that
some.
microphone? Do that again? Say something?
Hello, hello,
We
hello.
good now, yeah?
No, Seth.
Oh,
No, yeah.
Yeah. No, I had a
You're a
little
little
bit of
bit
a.
you're a little bit weak on the mic there, Seth.
am I?
I'm just now noticing.
How about now? That should be
That's
better.
better.
Okay,
That's
good.
good. Thank you.
Okay.
4th of July, Independence Day in the United States. Hello to all of our friends from the U.S. and to everyone else. I see we have Peru here. Hello, Akai from Peru. Romania, Michaela. And from Norway, Lisbeth, Sylvie. Hello, Greg in Nebraska, Carl in Pittsburgh, Dewey in Alabama. Another Dewey. I have two friends named Dewey. Julie, Trisha, Eva. Hello. Oh, Eva, hi. And everyone. Fahad, Anima, Annie. Hello, everybody. It is great to see you today. Uh, David just popped in from the Philippines.
David.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Um, this is a topic that I'm surprised when I searched around the internet. Most of it is kind of like either totally bland or very kind of sinister around this all-seeing eye concept. It always comes up like symbology is very easy to deal with. You can present a symbol, and then a person can kind of make a whole imagination and world out of what it would be. Either in a very sinister way, such as like, oh, they're trying to watch everything, the Illuminati and the all-seeing eye, and everyone's trying to watch everything we're doing, or according to what I understand from how it became part of the Great Seal of the United States, and on the dollar bill of the United States, it came. There's Latin. Let me show you, just a second. There's Latin above it on the dollar bill. I'm going to share my screen, guys, for a second.
Okay.
Go.
Share. You see that?
Yes.
I
Okay.
never noticed it was Latin. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that on
So
just a dollar bill or all of them that has a
this
pyramid?
is the $1 bill, the one that above the all-seeing eye, it means like he favors our something or other. I forget what it means, but something along the lines of that God favors what we're doing, and below it represents the 13 original colonies or something like that. But you
Huh.
can see it. Yeah, so here's the Great Seal of the United States. The one on the front is what you see when the president speaks, but the
Yeah.
part on the left is what's on the back of that same seal. A lot of symbolism, but okay. But the biggest media companies in the world also use some kind of all-seeing eye. This is CBS. This is
Very good.
Nvidia,
Very nice.
Time Warner, which is one of the
Right.
biggest media companies in the U.S. So it comes up in a lot of places, and
Also, that
so
Egyptian one, it has like a kind of like a
yeah, the Eye of
has like a
Horus.
ooh, and yeah, it has like a little swirly. Seen
Let's
that one a
see, Eye
lot
of
too.
Horus. Yeah, there you go.
Swirly.
I
Watch.
mean, it's been around for thousands of years. This whole concept, but even before the Egyptians, I think.
Hold on.
Well, it depends on
This
which
is
era.
this is the Eye of Horus. If everyone doesn't know what Chris is
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
that's it. That's it. Oh, it's below,
Yep.
not above. Okay, yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Um, okay.
So
So it's
there's
been
so there's a
around.
lot of eye symbolism that dates back thousands of years. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
and needless to say, but we should say it anyway, it's been also at the center of a bunch of conspiracy theories and a lot of that too around that.
yeah, if you are faithful people and you set out on some endeavor and you want that what you do should find favor with God, and you feel that God is watching over you in your mission, so that's one way to look at it. Let's imagine for a second that we're talking about something very clean, right? We want God to favor our endeavor. We feel that there is some eye that looks over everything we're doing, and we want to act, that way. Then fast forward to where we are now, where we don't trust anything the government does. If the government tells us something, the first thing we think of is like, how are they lying to us? When it comes to, everyone here has probably experienced, I imagine if you haven't, maybe you're not up to speed with the modern world, but you start talking about something and all of a sudden it shows up in your social media feed, or you start talking about something and you start getting advertisements for it on your
I'm
phone.
being watched. Yeah.
Right. And we have cameras all over the road. Guys, when I was in, I just got a ticket, 300 euros, a ticket.
Ooh.
Apparently I
Why
was
are you saying it
going,
in euro?
because when we were at the retreat in Holland, apparently I went through some small town too fast, and some camera caught me, and through
Really?
the rental car company all the way to me in New Jersey sent me a ticket. So,
Nice. Nice
I
present.
didn't get pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I was always watched.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
And more than that, with the cars now, like a Tesla, for example, there's a camera inside. From each light. On your phone, for example, you can put something on so you can always see where your kid is or where somebody is. You can track all
Right.
the time. Every traffic light in the city has a camera on it. In China, all in the street, they have cameras everywhere, so they just detect. You could find a person immediately. So there's this kind of sinister piece to this all-seeing eye, and it's almost, and maybe we could open that up, like the backside and the front side of the same thing, like the eye of God, maybe in some benevolent way, kind of watches over something, and in this sinister way, everything is watched over for some, not for some non-benevolent reason. And what makes us feel instinctively unsafe about it, it's because we don't feel that whoever's watching all this has our best
Mm.
interest.
Yes. What are their intentions?
Yeah, what are their intentions? Because if we felt that everything was being watched somehow under some under under some warm, like a mom who's watching her kids play in the playground, just making sure nobody gets hurt. You let the kid play as much as possible, but as soon as he's about to walk towards the edge, so you gently come over and guide him back towards the middle. So this kind of overseeing eye, we would feel warm, we would feel cared for. Someone's watching out for us, someone's making sure everything's working well. But we get the other kind of feeling, like, how are they trying to get me? What are they trying to steal from me?
Mm-hmm.
What are they trying to sell me? What are they trying to use against me?
I remember one time, you choked on my own something. Remember when AOL Instant Messenger first came out?
Chris, bring the mic a bit closer to your mouth, just a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
that looks ugly. This whole little thing. I'll fix that.
Ah, that's fine.
Remember when AOL Instant Messenger came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the first kind of it was the first kind of like it was before really text messaging got big too. It was like I remember racing home after school
Didn't
in intermediate
ICQ
school.
came first?
I don't even know what that is, so probably
Oh no.
it's probably similar then. But all my
Okay.
friends in high school had like a
By,
username,
by,
and then
by
you
the
would
way,
go
look at
into
look at AOL's logo.
oh, you see,
Also the
Oh.
all-seeing
Hello.
eye.
yeah, see,
Okay. Some
yeah,
version
see,
of it.
it's
Yeah.
there. Well, basically, what happened is, I would come home, race home after school to just start chatting with my friends. I don't know, like you just have a chat list of all your people. And usually it's like with the girls. That's actually where I learned to type so well. It's just like, you want to type with everyone, talk with everyone. And then I grew up later and my parents like, yeah, we had this program that was like recording all of your chats and we would go and like go over them and look at them
Oh
at
my
the end of the
God.
week or whatever and see what you were talking about. But so yeah, they can watch from the playground where you can like look and see like, yeah, that's my mom. She was watching, everything's good. Or it can kind of be like this backside where it's like, I am watching. You don't really know that I'm watching. Maybe you don't want me to watch, right? Because that also adds another thing. Like, do I even want them to? This all saying I didn't really invite that, So that starts adding an extra little layer to it.
We we live. I mean, it's so repulsive to us modern people If we were clean, it wouldn't be repulsive. But because we have private thoughts, um, because we have all of our own agendas and things like that, I mean, imagine what it would be like if everything was known. You know, right? That's the whole thing. When someone wants to run for office, there's whole committees of people, whole groups of people who research everything they ever said and everything they've ever done, and then they use it against them. Like that's the whole thing. It's like find what they did in the
Right.
past in order to use it against them. Like everyone has this like closet full of skeletons, and now I want to pay a bunch of money for you to find all the skeletons of this person I'm running against, and I want you to bring them all out strategically and at certain timing so that we can harm this person
Right.
because
Except that
we're
today you don't even need to really rely on truth. You can just make it up. That's
Oh man.
it's a
that's
whole
done
other
too.
thing.
And you can make it look like with AI and deep fake things, and you can that. I mean, it's a whole other
Okay,
level of it.
keep AI in the just keep it
Yeah.
back. This one's
Okay. I keep
Stay
AI on
back.
the side for a second, but I feel like I think that's the big question. Like, what would happen if we knew that we're watched? But can we, before we delve into it, can I feel like there's an elephant in the room that we need that we need to address for a second, and that
hmm
is uh, all of the conspiratorial thinking surrounding this concept of the all-seeing eye, and even the
Yeah.
symbol and the symbols, and because there is so much. I mean, I don't know all of the different theories, and the it's not my forte, but I do know that this concept of the all-seeing eye and this symbol is embroiled in a lot of conspiracy theories. I want to say something about that. Okay, so I want to say that to all the people who are finding themselves diving into all kinds of rabbit holes, I think that this is First of all, I think there's a lot of people that are interested in that. I don't know if it's not the majority of society, but it's definitely not the majority. That's why these theories are mostly considered fringe, right? Because
You mean
the
like
fringes.
Freemasons, like how they put it in like free? You hear about a Freemasonry
Well,
and
there's
all, and
all kinds of
Masonic.
things that maybe you know better, but there's all kinds of ideas about. Typically, it has to do with somehow that this symbol has to do with some sort of nefarious group or a dark cabal, or someone's watching you, right? So if that
You
someone's
mean
watching
people?
you, yeah, other people, I don't know, maybe aliens. That could be that too. I'm not ruling out anything. I'm saying there's all kinds of ideas that people have. We call it conspiracy theories, but you know what? Let's not. Maybe that's even a label that already labels the people also as weirdos or something. I don't want to say that these people who are interested in these theories are weirdos. I actually want to say something different. I want to say that the people who find themselves in these rabbit holes, I think at least in some cases, it's coming from a real deep-seated desire to uncover something people have. Why are people looking for what's hidden? Who's behind it? Who's watching? What is that symbol saying? Where is it coming from? That means that the people who are interested in that, they have they have a sense that something's hidden from them. And I actually respect that level of desire. Most people don't care. Most people just, look at their feed, and that's it. Their feed tells them how to think. And a lot of people we might consider conspiracy theorists, or people who are interested in conspiracy theories, they always look for, okay, what's behind it? Who's behind it? And what's the purpose here? What's the motive? So in that respect, I actually I appreciate that desire, because I think this desire, in some sense, is similar to the desire for spiritual development, because spiritual development is all about discovering what is purposely concealed from us. And from a Kabbalistic perspective, there is a reality that is purposefully concealed from us. There is such a concept of purposeful concealment. We need to understand that, right? Hopefully, maybe we can open that up in the later in the discussion. But that's why I think that people who are interested in these theories and rabbit holes, they have like a desire that is close to or developing towards a spiritual desire, possibly. But that's the first thing I'd like to say. The second thing I'd like to say is, why not go all the way? That's what I don't get. Like, if you're interested in if you feel like something in this reality is not right, not complete, not genuine, something here is illusory, something here is not the true reality. If you feel that, then okay, maybe you start from, okay, who's behind? What are the ulterior motives? What kind of people? Maybe it's not people. Maybe it's aliens. There's all kinds of theories like that, that there are aliens governing our world or governing our governments or in connection with our governments.
You mean
all
like you
kinds
get
of
stuck
ideas.
kind of like in that idea and you kind of like accept that one conclusion?
So I'll say it exactly. I'm saying, if you really are interested in what's hidden from you, go all the way. Go all the way. Don't stop with.
Well, there's an easy explanation
people.
why people don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's an easy explanation why people don't, and it has to do with the way that because not everyone is equal. I mean, no one is equal.
Explain.
Who is for example, one person is born with an IQ of 145, and someone else is born with an IQ of 85.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's clear, Or one person is born 6'5". I don't know how many centimeters. That's like very tall, like basketball player tall, and someone's born like us, regular.
Yeah. Well,
right?
I wouldn't say you and I are regular.
I tried to slide that one in. We're sitting down.
Chris is maybe regular. I mean, I'm definitely not regular.
Okay,
you're almost regular.
Not everyone has seen us standing. I thought I could just say it and move on, and you guys would let me get away with it. But we're not equal,
right?
And that's one thing. And the second thing is, which is really fundamental, which we learn right away once we start learning the wisdom of Kabbalah, and it would make everything in life. And one of the big problems we have in life is that people just don't understand what is the software operating on us. Mm-hmm. It's not about the brain. Mm-hmm. It's not about presenting facts to people. It's we each have this desire, this emptiness, and as soon as it gets enough filling, it's satisfied. So you can have huge ideals, right? For example, you have ideals. You're 19 years old. You're 20. I don't know. Let's get past like the right. You're young and you're ideal. But let's say you're 30 years old, and you have a dream to be something. But someone gives you a job to pay you $1 million a year. You leave your dream in a minute. Just pay me the money. You know what I mean? Like, I will do this. Right? So we all kind of have this, or like, I want to get in shape. And then as soon as you have to wake up in the morning and go run, the body's like, I'd rather just lay here. That's enough for me. So the reason why the reason why people don't go all the way is because once, for example, you find Freemasonry, or you find some conspiracy theory or something, and things connect enough that it's sad. It's like puts that fire out. If the fire is so big that you can't be satisfied by even that, then you would have to continue on. But I think the answer to your question is just because not everybody has a burning desire that goes to the depth of their soul.
Yeah, that's a fair explanation. I buy that. I think that's probably true. But if you do, let's just kind of complete the picture here. If you do go further, go deeper, you can't stop at okay, it's these people, it's that group, it's that cabal, it's those aliens. You know, you would have to ask, if you go really, if you're interested in the truth and you really want to go all the way, you will find yourself starting to ask deeper questions. Like, okay, let's say it's these people or these aliens or whatever, people in black, I don't know, I don't know, someone is running the show behind the scenes. Okay, but who's running them? Who's governing them, and why are they doing what they're doing? And if it's about money, then why does that happen? And where do they get that desire from? And if it's aliens, even let's introduce that idea. Okay, even if it's that, okay, so where did they get their intentions and desires from? Meaning, if you go deep enough, you end up at a point where you have to ask, what is the purpose of everything? Everything. What's the purpose of existence? And if you have that desire that's burning in you to discover what is concealed from us, you have to get to that line of questioning. What's the purpose of existence? What's the purpose of everything? Even if there are other people and who are running things, and I'm not saying there aren't. There's definitely people with all kinds of motives, and maybe there are groups of people, manipulating things that we don't know. Yes, but who's running that? And all of these people and groups and even aliens, they too live in a cosmos, in a universe. What is the whole universe about? What is the thread that connects everything and everyone that exists, and what for? That's what a person who really wants to go to the bottom of things has to get to ask at some point. And you're
Eventually.
right, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I guess if your desire is not ripe enough, then some level of answer within this world, so to speak. Okay, it's that group is doing that, these people are doing that, or some thousands of years ago, aliens came here in a spaceship or something and created human. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of ideas. Maybe that could satisfy you, but if you have a real desire to discover the deeper reality that's concealed from us, to discover what is concealed from us, you have to ask about the purpose of it all. Anyway, okay, so that's it. Got that out of the way. Okay. Now
Well, we're talking about billions of people, okay? And another thing that we understand about the structure of things is very difficult for us to understand, especially growing up, being educated the way that we have been, is that billions of people. First of all, to fundamentally understand the laws of what's operating everything, we start to understand how we can enter into that system and actually not just be a piece of pollen or dust that's just blown around by all of these other more powerful forces. To expect.
Oh, that's such a good point. Wait. You just said something that's a really good point. I don't think that any of the conspiracy theories end otherwise than what you said. Basically, it doesn't matter what kind of theory you subscribe to, it typically ends with you're a pawn in someone's game, in someone's bigger
Right.
game. And from a Kabbalistic perspective, if you want to research what is concealed from you, you're bound to discover what you're actually responsible for, which is you're bound to discover your deep, intimate connection with that governing force that governs all of reality, all of nature, all of existence. That's what you're really asking about. So it's a completely different perception from being a
Right.
a
So
Right,
you
and
have,
we
wait
don't
a
have.
second. Yeah. So wait, we started it off like this all-seeing eye and it's watching you. But really, what we're saying by that is someone has like they're like higher up than you. Someone has like this upper hand. Someone has this like controlling ability that you don't really know what it is they're doing, and you want to find out what it is that they're doing, and that kind of like upsets you a little bit more. It's like this, like that's where the kind of conspiracy comes from. Like, okay, but they're controlling us, or they're controlling this. Like, and in the end, what Asaf is saying, I guess, is like, yeah. In the end, you're basically saying I want to be on the same level as you. I need to discover or have that same kind of capability because it's not comfortable being the one that's being controlled. That's ultimately, I guess, kind of what it always boils down to is what you said, which is true.
Okay, Seth, keep going. Sorry, that was
Yeah,
a
I'm just asking
tangential,
the
very tangential. What you're
you
Asking questions and getting answers.
um okay, I got just started to get really frustrated just calculating how much taxes the government takes out of my
Oh my
paycheck.
god.
No, I'll tell you what was a question
It's
we
so
had.
sick.
No, no. I'll tell
Ugh.
you what
I was
question
gonna
we
relate it to the
Pain.
show, and then I started looking at the numbers, and I'm just beside myself.
just
No, don't look at
okay.
that.
You
Don't look at
asked us
that.
before. You asked us before, and I digressed, but I remember the question. The question was, what would it be like? How would it change things if we felt like there's an all-seeing eye that watches our every move? Because the thing is, even if it's like that, we don't feel that, right? So, what would change if we felt that? I think that was what you were asking.
Yeah, but we have to do a few steps before that because
Okay.
first of all, who's behind that eye, that all-seeing eye? Is this benevolent thing? And if so, like how are you going to make that leap from where we are now to there is some benevolent eye in the sky that's watching everything, or it's some sinister thing? There's a lot of space between where we are now
If you can't
and
see it, you don't know
that.
what it's thinking, I guess, or what its intentions are. So you
So,
kind
so
of have to
let
guess.
me just back up a bit to try and get that running start again. So what I wanted to say before was that with all these billions of people,
Yeah.
another thing happens in the wisdom of Kabbalah is that you start to feel where you can make your effort, where to point, where is the place of the effort, because you can spend all day long. You could sleep 4 hours a day and work tirelessly and barely move the needle at all. Or you can just use the free time you're given in your life in exactly the right spot and shift the entire world. So it's also, there is something even about this, the way the pyramid is arranged. And also, when we talk about these billions of people, we don't need to get the billions of people to subscribe to what we're talking about right now. We need to, whoever can understand this first, do this because people move according to emotion. So if we can start to feel what's really happening here and we can start to relate, we're going to open this up now. Like, what is this all-seeing eye? Like, first of all, is there such a thing? And second of all, not from BlackRock or the Bilderberg Group or some media company or some military industrial complex. Because even that fits inside of, like Asaf said before, even if there are aliens, what is
That,
operating them?
that
If
that's
there's an all-seeing
exactly.
eye,
And also
it's covering.
and take it's not just that that I mean, okay, take aliens, take that, what did you say, how the Bilderberg group, whatever, like take
Yeah.
any kind of group under, behind the shadows, behind the scenes, that take any of them and the aliens, put them all together, ultimately all of them, one way or another, are living in the same reality. Whatever entities you can think of, whatever people you can think of, they're all living in the same reality. All of reality, all of nature, all of the cosmos is interconnected. There's nothing that lives in isolation. There's no particle in reality that is not connected to the entire universe. And if you understand the interconnectedness of all things, then immediately the line of questioning that you get to is, okay, if it's all connected, then there has to be, it means that there is a single program. This is also the one thing that, I mean, it's interesting actually. People like the ancient philosophers, who were also, by the way, inspired by Kabbalists like Plato, Aristotle, they understood that. You can see it in the writings. I remember even reading that when I started like 20 years ago, looking into philosophy writings. They understood that, meaning that if all of reality is connected, if all of nature is connected, it means that all of nature is one thing. It means that there is actually one program. So you can't have anything working against this one program. And what we see in reality is many conflicting forces, people trying to take control over other people even taking control over the world, maybe even other entities that live in advanced civilizations, even in other dimensions. Let's say, there's all kinds of theories about interdimensional aliens. Okay, even that is still part of a single reality. We don't know all of this reality, but we can agree with one premise, that it's all one reality. And because it's all one reality, it's all connected, it's all interdependent, and there's actually just one program that governs all of nature, all of the cosmos, all of reality, everything that exists. That program is what we should be after, if we're interested in what's concealed from us.
So there's one program that's
Yes.
operating everything, right?
That's the starting point of Kabbalah.
That's the starting point. Now, okay,
Yeah.
so now for everybody, here we start to get our hands dirty. There's one program operating everything. And what happens then between the emanation of that program to us is, in between, there are this force of selfishness or something, that because that operating force is integral and is whole and is balancing everything. Then you put this creature, this singular kind of creature in all the universe, a human, exists on some rock on the side of the Milky Way galaxy. We haven't found any others. There may be other creatures, but as far as we know, let's just talk about what we know. We're the only ones, and we are these ones. So for example, let's take plastic recycling. Okay, so if a person wanted to be in harmony with all of the systems, so you would make something that wouldn't pollute and hurt all of the systems. But the plastic companies understood, and this is already well documented and decades old, instead of taking responsibility or changing things, what they did was just shifted it to the consumer and said, now it's on you to recycle your bottle. Right? Like, we made this thing, we put a triangle on your bottle, and now it's on you to recycle your bottle. Now, it's well known, and they even knew as far back as the 60s that it's ineffective at scale to do something like this. But in my house today, even though I know recycling is BS, because only under 5%, 6%, 10%, whatever number, depending on who you ask, of the plastic actually gets recycled.
Mm-hmm. Or can be recycled.
Recycled. The facilities where it goes, it gets burned or incinerated or put in a pile somewhere else. They can't recycle most of it. But to this day, I'll pull a bottle out of my trash can in my kitchen and put it into the other thing and feel that I've done something virtuous. We all bring our can out to the street once a week for the recycling to go away. We all still do this lie. Because
it goes even further. We can even get angry at other people who don't do it, and it becomes a moral signaling kind of thing, and now, and we can start political groups about it and protests about it, and then politicians who want to be elected will make this a big thing in their campaign because they understand it can sway a lot of people in this direction, that direction.
So let's imagine there's this all-seeing eye about things, and let's just use it in this one example of like plastic. It's like, just imagine that everyone felt like, if I do this behavior, it's harming the planet, or it's harming the ecosystem in which I live. So we would all be forced to change our behavior. If we knew that some kind of behavior that we do, some kind of consumption, not Chris, who's always drinking out of the same reusable mug every single
virtue signaling.
Chris is like, look at me in my reusable mug. But if we understood that our behavior and the things we do had an effect on the world. So we would be forced, for example, if there was some all-seeing eye, meaning some
Okay.
consequences behind
Okay.
every behavior.
I got a quote. We have to introduce a quote
Let's
here.
do
I
it
think I
finally.
think it's time. Yeah, it's right on what you've led us to. So okay, this is and then let's read it and let's talk about what the heck are they talking about. This is
This Pirkei
Kabbalists.
Avot.
Pirkei Avot is yeah, it's an assortment, like a collection of writings of Kabbalists from at least 2,000 years ago. Sometimes they write things about or like documenting things that were said even before 2,000 years ago. So this text that we're reading now
Commentaries.
is at least 2,000 years old. So check this out. And Pirkei Avot is this like, so this is like a collection of short things, like short kind of items. You can think about them like as short posts, if there was no
Little
social
tweets.
media. Yeah, no tweets.
Ancient
Exactly.
tweets.
Exactly. So this is like ancient Kabbalistic tweets, right? So I'm sorry for the,
No, it's perfect.
comparing the, anyway. Okay. So check this out. Know what is above you. An eye sees, and an ear listens, and all your actions are written in the book. So this
So there is an
is
all-seeing eye.
Can I
there
look
we
at that
go.
book?
So,
I want to make sure. I want to make
I
sure.
wanna can I cook the book a little bit?
Get access.
Yeah. So okay, so what are the Kabbalists saying here? Now the Kabbalists, we remember the starting point of the Kabbalists, the starting point of the wisdom of Kabbalah, the starting point of the Abrahamic school of thought, which is essentially the beginning of the wisdom of Kabbalah being disseminated at scale. It started even 2,000 years before that, but about 4,000 years ago with Abraham, the starting point was that reality is one. There's only one reality. Everything's connected. Therefore, everything is one. And there is one program, one thought behind all of creation. We call it the thought of creation. So, know what is above you. An eye sees and an ear listens, and your actions are written in the book. That means that, yes, everything is governed by one program, and that program takes into account everything you do, think, and feel. It's not just your actions or your digital footprint. Today we're worried about NSA surveilling us, or social
Privacy.
media. Yeah, exactly, the digital privacy, right? Social media collecting our information and then presenting us with advertisements. So forget digital activity, forget what you type online and what all of that. What about your thoughts, your intentions, your
Easy,
desires,
slow down, slow
all
down.
of that?
It's a big leap, my friend.
It's okay because I don't
okay.
really feel that that's happening, so I can live in. I can still.
We
live
don't
in,
feel it.
In a world
Wait.
where it
No, but
doesn't-
not
where it
only that,
doesn't-
even if I do believe you, you're a very believable person. I can't control every thought that comes into my head, and you're going to paralyze me over here.
Right.
So slow down and let's try and understand this, because we don't want to leave people here in some neurotic mess, because all of a sudden I'm standing in line at the grocery store and some thought comes to my head.
You can blame someone else for that thought too. Don't worry.
Okay, but
Okay.
let's not simplify
Okay,
it too
but-
much without explaining it.
But essentially, what we're saying is this. If there is a program, one program that governs all of reality, that means it governs everything. Your inner world and the outer world and everything in between. Every particle that moves, every quantum state of a particle that we don't even know what that really means, every subtle shift in your emotion, and anything that you do that other people can see, that as well. All of it, what we see and what we don't see, all of that is taken into account by the program that runs all of reality. Okay? I mean, that's logically, that's easy to understand. Why, right? If there's one program governing everything, Everything is included in it.
Fine, but then
Now,
immediately you're like, "Meh, free choice though.
okay,
Free."
exactly. So where if that happens, how are we doing anything? How, if there's one program governing everything, then why does it say all your actions are written in the book? So there is some latitude. There is some accountability. There is some place, some area that is called that we can call free choice, where the program sort of allows us to do something of our own. We don't know where that is yet, but there has
if
to
we
be.
Okay, so that's the
Yeah.
Illuminati doing their stuff. They're choosing to do that then. How who's to say that that's not in the
Well, you
that
can
is
look
in
at
the program?
you can look at the entire world and look at it in both ways at all times. It's a duality, of course. You can look
I
at the
came
whole
here for
world.
answers, not more questions.
You can look at the whole world and you can say all these people are governed by a single program, or you can say, oh, they're exercising their free will and they're just harming each other or killing each other or whatever, manipulating each other, whatever it is they do. You know. Now, what we know from a Kabbalistic perspective is, yes, there's a program, and yes, there is some free choice that human beings have. But how much free choice each one has and when, that's you can't see that. That's up to every person and their level of development.
So let's take it like this. Let's imagine that boom, in a flash, in an hour from now, it will be revealed to everyone that there is some all-seeing eye that watches over everything. Now, because we're not developed enough to be able to manage to deal with that, it feels very, very oppressive, right? It's watching what I'm doing. It's watching what I'm saying. Am I doing this wrong? It's like I need to watch every little thing, right? Like sometimes you're slicing cake and maybe I got a little bigger slice than I gave to the other person of the cake or something like that. So there's that piece of it, which at first it's super, super oppressive. So in order,
Let's
and
flip
then
that.
now hold
Okay,
on one second.
when you're ready.
Not only not only does it become oppressive, it actually you're now
Oppressive
doing
and
you're doing
paralyzing
everything
too.
coercive. Yeah, you're doing it everything coercively now. There's no warmth between everyone because it's kind of like Holland. I'm just kidding. It's kind of like everyone's nice to everyone, but they're just doing it
You're
because
just
it's
mad
like
about the ticket.
it's just the social, like in their heart they didn't really like me, but they acted like they like me because I'm kidding everyone here. I saw we had a lot of people here from Holland, but in Israel, if they don't like you, they just tell you straight to your face. But there, it's like if everyone still acts nice, but gave me a really bad review on Airbnb. I didn't know they didn't
It's 'cause
give you
you're a Jew.
sheets and towels at the Airbnb. I didn't know. Culturally in America, they
still
give you
going
sheets
on.
and towels. They gave me a terrible review.
Yeah, that was really
but
surprising. That was, yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, that's my ignorance. But the point is, if this all-seeing eye becomes oppressive and you start to act like you act nice coercively, not because it's what you feel in your heart, it's because that's the social agreement between us. So now remove the all-seeing eye for a second, or remove the feeling that one exists. And now how can we come to it with a warm heart, with love towards each other, that we're doing this not because there's some oppression upon us to do it, but because we all feel that we're all connected to each other. We all feel that what I do to you affects me, what you do to you, it's all one.
Okay.
How do we get to loving each other? That was a jump that I was not ready for. First of all, I'm worried about the thoughts that are in my head that I'm getting written in a book, going to jail when I die. Now I'm supposed to love other people.
Okay. How about another
We're trying to
quote?
do like a 4-hour show
That might,
in like
yeah.
50 minutes.
It is the 4th of July.
Here's another quote. It's the aim is to complete the picture. I don't know if that'll work, but we'll try. So here's another one that hopefully will help us complete the picture. But it's short and deep, like all of these Pirkei Avot. Again, 2,000 years old text. This world is like a corridor before the world to come. Correct yourself in the corridor to enter the main hall. Give it a second. It's not about your physical body dying and after that you go to heaven. No, that's not what it's about. This world is like a corridor before the world to come. Correct yourself in the corridor to enter the main hall. What does that mean? It means that this entire experience of reality that we call the material world, the physical world, this world, it's a perception. And in that level of perception, we have the opportunity to correct ourselves, as they call it, to calibrate ourselves, to adjust ourselves so that we can go through that corridor and enter where we're actually supposed to be. The deeper reality, the complete reality, the all-seeing reality, the omnipotent reality, whatever you want to call that. So the all-seeing eye, how does that flip everything that we talked about? The all-seeing eye, or this concept of a single program that governs and documents and watches all of your thoughts, feelings, and actions, that program is not there to oppress you or to control you. It is like a mother, like you gave that example in the very beginning of the show. It's like a mother that develops you, like a teacher that educates you, like a higher level of consciousness that evolves you. And so what we're going through in our existence that we call this world is just like a corridor, a development phase, an educational phase, a training phase, an evolutionary phase, so that we can perceive the greater reality. And the warmth and the love exists in the intention of this program. So we don't see it. We don't see that there is a program. We don't see that there is a good and benevolent intention behind the program to bring us up, to develop us to a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of perception, a higher level of feeling, of the sensation of reality. We don't see all of that, but that is purposeful because that's the only way for us to evolve. Think about how a child develops. When you're 5 years old, most of the world is hidden from you. You're there, but you're not really understanding what's happening. You don't really know that your mother and father, they had to go to school and learn things and get a profession and go to work and they make money and make ends meet just for you to be able to now enjoy your candy bar. You don't get
Fine,
that.
but wait, stop.
You don't understand the whole picture.
I'm not gonna typically interrupt you, but we only have 9 minutes, and you opened it. This is your fault. There's
Okay.
still a book. You opened it saying,
Yes.
there's a book.
Yep.
All your actions and thoughts, here they
Yep.
are. Now you're also saying, it's good. It's all development. So if it's the nice, loving teacher mother,
Yep.
so what does she need to write in a
Yeah,
book
why
for?
does she need to
Why does she care about the
exactly?
book? Why does she care about the book? She doesn't need a book.
Because-
She's just a loving mother.
Because how does a child evolve? You have to do things on your own. You have to exercise your independent, conscious, volitional participation in anything. If you are given everything pre-made, ready, you will never learn anything and you will never develop. Why? What do we do when we give kids all kinds of games to play with? We give them some challenges. We give them puzzle pieces. They put it together. They grow smarter. If you gave them the whole thing ready, there would be no evolution of their minds. And so
you're
the
saying
program,
in the corridor, I'm handing the book in order to get into the hall. Yes, I did the things to get into the main hall. They look at the book.
the world, the corridor, is a school. it's you'll never get to the main hole. If you don't die and get to the main hole, that you only get to the main hole if you complete the if you master the game, if you
The things are,
learn
it's
what
all
you
it's
have
all
to
for
learn.
our it's all for our benefit. In the same Pirkei Avot, I think is right after we studied it yesterday when he talks about the 10 trials that Abraham goes through. That why does he need to go through, or all of those stories that we see, why if they're so good, people always criticize the Jews, like, oh, they always go against God, God chose them and then they're always rebelling. But you have to understand what the process is here. You're not just born either. You're just born with this quote unquote all-seeing eye. Everything is connected and you do everything just robotically, just like one molecule in the system, and you don't have any free will, or you're completely disconnected from it and you just keep making mistakes and you have no idea what's connected to what, and you don't have no idea how to improve, because we all know
Mm,
people like backwards people, right? They can't get their life together. They can't do
yeah.
this. But through the you can say something, Asaf. It looked like you're jumping to say.
Again, to what Chris said, the all of your actions are written in the book. It means that your life is not worthless. That's how we should look at it. It means that every second of your existence is purposeful if you make it so. It means that every second, every thought, every moment of life is a moment that you can advance down the corridor. That's what it means. The program has given you free choice whenever you are aware of it, whenever you want it. There's not a second that is redundant in reality. There's not a particle that is superfluous. Everything is purposeful, everything is necessary, and what the program does is, think about it like a giant super AI thing, right? That calculates your life and all of your occurrences and everything that's happening to you. And what it does is it leaves you in every moment of your awareness, it leaves you with an opportunity for choice. That's what's behind all of your actions are written in the book. Meaning, the program, it doesn't push you to evolve and that's it. It pushes you to a state where you can make a choice, meaning make a volitional participation, a conscious participation. That's how we should look at it, and that's why
And it's all for
everything's
the
purposeful.
benefit.
And
Yeah,
it's
it's all
all
for the
for
benefit of that person, because by like, this is what I was trying to say about the trials of Abraham, those 10 trials. It's like each one you're scrutinizing, like, do you love me this much? You get a trial. You're like, you love me, like, I can love that much. Okay, but would you be willing to do this for me? It's not until you actually do it, then you're like, yes, I know for myself, and it's known that I am willing to do that much. So it builds inside the person himself this, it builds the person to these emotional qualities, because until the person actually, like, you could be the person who could climb Mount Everest, but until you, like, that could be you, the exact same guy, one day before you did it. But until you actually do it, you don't have the impressions of doing it,
yes,
even though you're the same
Hmm.
guy and even though you're
Mm.
completely capable of doing it. I think the example Rav gave was something like, I don't remember what the question was, but he said, like, a professional athlete. Like, it's all in him, but it's just not activated until he's out there and he does it, and then it's activated. So in order
Right.
for us to feel all of those things, we have the process of this kind of concealment so that we can make the effort and reveal it in our own emotions.
I
nature
see. So,
develops. Yeah, go ahead. Nature
so,
develops
so it's like
everything
kind of
through
like
rev.
correcting our. Oh,
I'll say it in one
blah, blah,
sentence.
blah.
Sorry, yeah, there's a delay. Nature develops everything through this game of revelation and concealment. Everything in nature develops this way. We could expand on it another time. Chris, go ahead. Sorry, go for it.
Perfect. No, it's basically what I guess what that section is saying is like it makes sense now that where it's kind of like correcting our attitude towards the world. Like this is how your attitude should be. And even Seth mentioned in the morning, like you can do certain, or maybe in the morning, my brain's also turning off. That we tip the world to a scale of merit, whether I act in this way or whether I act in this way. How much am I contributing to the development of this thing, of the work inside the corridor? How much am I contributing to that? How much am I helping others contribute to that and advance in that way? And accordingly, we get into the main hall. I'm not if I do something, but just because everything's hidden from me, this integrated system, it's one system, everything. That means it's like we always hear that example of it's an analog system. If I move this way, then I'm the butterfly effect and all these things. Of course, it's all hidden from us, but if we can learn about what our attitude should be, then maybe we're drawing ourselves closer to that correct perception, that correct attitude towards reality.
Yes,
They're
they
smart.
should
They
be.
knew.
They should be part. That is the whole benefit of studying Kabbalah, I would say. Because what did the Kabbalists do? They they documented what they found. What happens when you reveal your connection with that program, what that program is about, what, because that's what's hidden from you. So we're not discovering that right away. But they left us with a method to get there, and we can take that method and understand based on that how to behave towards the program. What does the program want from us? That's the thing that's really hidden from us, and that Kabbalah helps you reveal, which is the purpose of creation, the thought behind creation, which is to lead us to a point where we are actually similar to that thought, where we can perceive the thought that governs everything, where we feel connected to everything that exists, where we feel a part of one reality and one with the thought that created this reality, or the governing force, the creator, call it whatever you want. The goal is for us to get to that level. And what we're in right now is nothing but a corridor. It's just a hallway. It's just a development process. Once you start looking at life this way, life behaves differently with you, and you behave differently with life. It's a completely a complete change of attitude to everything.
So
Yeah.
so what's the connection then? I'm just gonna take it this way. It just kind of popped up. What's the connection then? How we said there's this deficiency, this desire to reveal what's hidden, and so that's on one hand, right? So if something's hidden, and then that it's hidden. First of all, if you don't know it's hidden, that's one thing. If you know that something's hidden, that's already a completely different state. The kind of the door that is there that's hiding something, right? So that's already one. And then, but then so that's on one hand. And on the other hand, we're saying this like kind of like revealing something. So what are we revealing? Are we revealing that something is hidden? Or because right now I don't feel that anything's, kind of, and there's a kind of weird, there's a weird, inner meandering, and it's not really clear. It's like you're walking around that corridor, eyes closed, trying to touch
Yeah.
things. You don't really know what you're touching.
That concealment is inseparable from the process we're going through, because the process we're going through is a process of revelation. You can't have revelation without first having concealment. That's why this world is such a world where we think we are bodies that live and die. We think we're all separated. We feel like we want to kill each other. There's animosity. There's conflict. We don't feel like we are eternal beings, all connected, that we're all one mind, one heart, one thing. We don't feel that. We feel the exact opposite, because that's the only starting point from which we can come to reveal, actually consciously reveal, attain, not believe, not theorize, not philosophize, actually feel and attain. This is what's called attainment in Kabbalah, right? Attain that we are actually one created being, one creation, and we're one with a force that created us for that purpose, to be one with it. Now, I think that would be a good point to leave some leave some more concealment for next week. Maybe. No, I mean we're out of time, so
Yes. We are out of
yeah.
time. And it's 4th of July. You guys got to put some
Yeah,
shrimps on the barbie.
Hayes Anderson says next week we'll talk about the invisible hand.
All right. We'll get
Okay.
to the whole anatomy.
Nice one. Nice one.
Welcome Rob from Stockholm, and I also saw Abidemi from Lagos, Nigeria. So he said hi to the other friends around the world, but it's so fun to feel how this conversation is spanning around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
You
guess
want to
we're gonna
leave?
have to
Do you want to
pick it
leave
up
them
next
with
week. What?
with
Give it another quote or
with
something?
another quote, but without saying anything about it? Just reading it to let people
Yeah.
Okay.
dwell in it. Okay. It's another one. This one's longer, slightly longer, and this is again from Pirkei Avot, but also referenced in Baal Sulam, the great Kabbalist of the previous century, in his article titled "The Peace." So where he talks about how to achieve peace, he mentions this. Okay, so check this out. All is in deposit, and a net is spread over all of life. The store is open, and the shopkeeper sells by deferred payment. The book is open, and the hand writes. And anyone who wishes to borrow may come and borrow. And the collectors return regularly, day by day, and collect from a person knowingly and unknowingly. And they have what to rely on, and the judgment is true, and all is ready for the feast.
In the main hall,
I'm
I
not gonna
guess.
say a word. I'm not gonna say a word. All right. All right.
Friends, we've come to the end of another hour. Thank you to all of the... We also have Helena here from Finland.
All right.
So we covered the globe today. Let's see.
Finland.
I'm
Are you
home with my
playing a
guitar
song,
here.
or are you-
Yes, I'm gonna play a live song here.
There
Yeah,
we go.
They deserve it. The audience
we
deserves
go.
it.
Okay, I don't have a song about the all-seeing eye, but
But you can make one up on the spot. Cool. All right, go for it.
All
so
right.
just let me know how if it spikes, if it peaks.
Sounds
It
fine.
sounds pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
After 1,000 little exits and all these escapades, we learned how to address you. We wanna see your face. We found a book from the future that tells how life will be. What happens to the hearts? They become more sensitive. Truly saving the world is not a work that can do more. To look you in the eye, to brace ourselves and try. A thread of grace extends from on high. Feel the floods are coming, to feel the rockets rain, to feel we need your help, your mercy in our prayers. First comes good feelings, and then comes good thoughts. When every gate was closed, the gate of tears unlocked. Truly saving the world is not a work that can do more. To look you in extends from on high. Prophetic grace extends from on high. All right, we'll see you next Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern,
Thanks, man.
friends. Big hug.
Next time.